New Mexicans are definitely pet lovers, but it's not just according to us. It's according to a new survey by the American Veterinary Medical Association. This ranks New Mexico second in the country for the percentage of homes with pets. Second, nearly 68% of households have at least one pet.
Yeah, I think it's the climate probably.
Right?
The pets love it. The top 5 pet-owning states, by the way, are Vermont, New Mexico, South Dakota, Oregon, and Maine. Washington, D.C. has the smallest percentage of pet owners.
That's interesting. Well, you know, Washington, D.C. is known for having like the worst traffic in America. It's so busy and there's so many vehicles and there's so many people and it's just a very hustle bustle kind of a city. So I imagine that's probably why it's not as conducive to having a pet.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
This is a perfect place for a pet.
You and I are like the 32 percentile that don't.
That don't have
but
a
we
pet.
need to
I would
change
love
that.
to have one.
I want a dog.
I just need a bigger space.
Me too, me too, me too.
Well,
Okay.
if you want a 4-legged friend for your family, 20 puppies that Animal Humane New Mexico took from an overcrowded animal shelter in Grants last week are ready for adoption today.
We should make a phone call, huh? The breeds include Labs, Heelers, Chihuahuas, and Dachshunds. So I don't know, if you were looking for any of those kind of dogs, this could be the day. This could be the day you have a new family member. It can happen.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it.
And it's so good to adopt from an animal shelter.
It
So
is.
do that. Give one of those puppies a home. They would love you and cherish you, and they really want a home. And
Absolutely.
It's really good to adopt.
Absolutely, they do. And now let's move on to something a little bit different. Let's talk about the movie business a little bit, because critics are saying that a movie that was shot here in New Mexico could actually be as big as the Twilight series. That's huge. Now we are getting a behind-the-scenes look at The Host. It has nothing to do with either of us. But it's about aliens known as souls who wipe out the entire human race.
We have been invaded by another species who erase our minds to take our bodies.
And this was filmed around Albuquerque, Farmington, and Shiprock last year. It is adapted from a novel. The reason why it's getting the Twilight hype is because it's by the novel Stephanie Meyer, who wrote the Twilight Saga, and hosted at theaters March 29th. So
yeah, I wonder if it'll really be
we'll
as
see.
big. That would be great, because then if it does really well, of course, it could go on to more movies and they could have
Right.
sequels, and then that's more filming and more jobs here in New Mexico. So in
That
the
would
end,
be great.
it ends up helping our entire community.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to see how that one turns out.
Yes.
Well, a 5-year-old Pennsylvania kindergartner has been suspended for threatening a classmate with her Hello Kitty bubble gun. Here's a picture of the weapon. Take a look here. But the girl was unarmed when she made the threat to shoot her friend with soapy bubbles.
Yeah, you know, well, I'll talk about this in a moment. First, I want to mention what the school administrators are saying, because the administrators of the school are saying they considered the child to be a terrorist threat, and they suspended her for 10 days. We're not making this up, guys. This is a true story. This suspension has been reduced to 2, and the child has undergone psychiatric evaluation, which found her to be normal and not a threat to others, although now she has a record. Now, my take on this is that, you know, you've played with water guns as a little kid, right? And that's really what this was. It's like a Hello Kitty kind of water gun, but instead of water, it shoots bubbles. So it was really intended to be like a fun toy, but with all of the things going on right now in our nation and beyond, I think it's just anything that even semi-resembles violence, especially from children, I think is getting a lot of attention and is really posing to have repercussions for the kids.
A lot of people are just being very sensitive. I mean, then she had the mental evaluation, so I don't know. People are just, with all the stuff that's happening, I guess people are getting very sensitive and in some ways taking extreme measures when maybe they shouldn't be.
Exactly.
You know?
So we'll keep you posted if we hear anything new on that story. In the meantime, penny pinching has a whole new meaning. This is for a Chicago couple that actually retiled their room in their house with, get this, 60,000 pennies. Take a look. Look at that. Isn't that cool, though? They laid down a special glue. Then what they did was they placed each penny heads up on the floor. And this is, of course, the result. It's kind of cool, I think, but here's the weird part, okay? Among the pennies were a couple of rare finds.
Ooh, yeah. They came across actually a 1944 World War II steel penny that was created due to a copper shortage, and then a 1873 Indian head penny, and both of those are about worth about $1,000. So you think $6,000 there, you can tack on another $2,000.
Yeah.
And then they decided they wanted it for their floor. Instead of cashing in, the couple glued them to the floor with the rest of the pennies. All of them.
There's
all
always that
the way
little
out there.
misfit penny, but who would think it would bring you all that money? My goodness. Well, maybe one day that'll make the house go up in value.
That's exactly what I was going to
Were
say.
you
There you
thinking
go,
the same
home
thing?
value going up right there.
Thinking like a real estate agent. Now coming up next on New Mexico Style, you don't want to go away. It is tea time with Crazy Bitch Tea.